Eurosport. On behalf of Eurosport, this is John Harris, welcoming you to an hour of all-star European-style wrestling action. The opening contest on our program tonight. The first of the contestants just getting into the ring, as you will see, Dick the Butcher Murdoch. And he's coming into the ring complete with his lady assistant, with that rather formidable-looking snake. Let's hope that it doesn't take any particular part in the proceedings. I'm sure it isn't supposed to. We shall see, though. Now we have his assistant, his challenger, Flash Gordon, with a message, especially for Dick the Butcher Murdoch. And now we have the opportunity of seeing the man himself, Flash Gordon, the EWF World Champion and Paris's #1 heartthrob. We've seen his message to his opponent, Dick the Butcher Murdoch, and now, as his glamorous young ladies prepare to leave the ring, I'm sure that all the lasses in Paris who dearly love Flash Gordon are going to be willing him to win this match against Dick the Butcher Murdoch. Let's see whether he can. I think when you compare the two wrestlers, it will be not too difficult to see why it is that a lot of people in the packed audience here at the Orangery Hall in Crossy-Bulburg tonight would definitely prefer that the winner of this match should be Flash Gordon. Now let's see whether they're going to be proved right or not. And we're just about ready to start with the action. The Paris heartthrob, Flash Gordon, goes right into the match with a series of very sturdy elbows there, and now attempting a hip toss on Dick the Butcher Murdoch. Not really getting too far with that. He's a very, very big man, Dick Murdoch. And a body tackle. Went in for another body tackle, changed it to a leg dive, but once again, the extra size and the extra power of this man was a little bit too much for Flash Gordon on that occasion. And now Dick Murdoch getting some of the action of his own. And we got a shot there of his assistant with her snake. I'm a bit worried about that snake. And Dick Murdoch throws Flash Gordon to the ropes and catches him with a clothesline as he comes off. I hope that's not done too much damage at this early stage in the contest. Flash Gordon looks just a little bit worried there. And once again, Murdoch throws Flash Gordon straight into the corner and very nearly over the top of the ropes there. I don't know how he managed to keep himself in, but he was with it enough there to escape that attempted pinfall by Dick Murdoch. And the referee's telling Murdoch, of course, that he shouldn't attack his man while he's still out, but he's still doing that. The man is down on the canvas, and the referee, I'm sure, will not allow that to go on for too long. The man must stand back, of course, when his opponent is down on the canvas. And once again, Dick Murdoch into the attack. Try the clothesline again. This time, ducked underneath it. Flash Gordon, and with a hip toss there, and another one. Taking the initiative, and a very, very good sturdy drop kick there by Flash Gordon. A good drop kick, Matt. 1 foot on the chin, 1 foot on the chest. And Dick the Butcher Murdoch will certainly know that that one hit him. Now the initiative all to Flash Gordon at the moment. A stranglehold on there. The referee's keeping a very close eye on it. He obviously doesn't think he's going to get too much further with that. So he drops the hold. Gives Dick Murdoch a little bit of a breather. I'm sure that wasn't his intention, but that's the way it's turning out. And Dick Murdoch is complaining that Flash Gordon was poking his fingers in his eyes. I wouldn't think that's very likely. He's not really that sort of a wrestler. A head mare from Flash Gordon. Can he hold the big man's shoulders down only for a count of one? And this time he's put him right out through the ropes. Out on the floor on the outside of the ring goes Dick the Butcher Murdoch. And there to console him, maybe to rescue him, his lady assistant, complete with her saying, Flash Gordon now. A double-handed chop onto the head of Dick Murdoch there. And one elbow, two elbows, three elbows, and good ones they are at that. And now getting his man back into the ring. That's where the action should be. Flash Gordon's put him back into the ring. And carries on with the advantage that he had. And it's another head mare. A dive across from Flash Gordon. Takes his man over. Takes a leg. 1, 2, 3, and it's a pinfall. It's a win there for the heartthrob of Paris, Flash Gordon. Let's see that again in slow motion. A dive across there with his own body weight. He pulls his opponent across like that. Presses him. Takes a leg. And there's the referee with the count of 3. And that's the win of our first contest tonight for that great lad from Paris, the EWF champion, Flash Gordon. And now we carry straight on with the action of our tag match tonight. Tag action coming to you from Eurosport. In the ring now, we have the combination of Patrice, Martino, and Jan Caradik, 2 young lads from Paris. They're protégés of Flash Gordon, and he spends all his time encouraging them with their training and their careers. You can see what he thinks of their opponents. And now you can see what you think of their opponents, because now coming into the ring, the masked bearing of the Golden Falcons. We can't get any information about the Golden Falcons. They're keeping themselves very much to themselves. The only thing I've been able to discover is that they don't want to be identified individually. They are a tag team. They wish to wrestle as a tag team. They wish to work as a tag team. They wish to travel as a tag team. They don't consider themselves to be individuals. They are a team. That's the way they want to be. And despite the sayings of Flash Gordon a moment or two ago, they are quite convinced that they will be the winners of this tag match tonight, and not the 2 younger men from Paris, Patrice and Jan. Let's see what happens. So here we go with the action. In the green trunks, that's the young man from Paris, Patrice Martino, and after 2 arm drags there, a very nice drop kick as he tags out and lets in his partner, the white trunks and the black top, Jan Caradik, also from Paris. And they link up. Now a full Nelson from the Golden Falcon there. And a very good arm roll from the lad from Paris. The Falcon throws him to the ropes. And again, back to back and another arm roll. What a good move from the lad from Paris. Jan Caradik is his name. His partner in the green trunks, you'll see shortly, Patrice Martino. And as they link up again, the Golden Falcon shows maybe his extra strength, his extra power, his extra weight. He appeared to push Jan off without too much bother at all there. And again, Jan's in there, attempting an arm lock, but by sheer power. It's the Golden Falcon who manages to break out. Doesn't look as though it's too much bother to him at this stage. A head mare from the Golden Falcon. He follows it down with a stranglehold. But a good escape there by Jan. A headlock followed by a hip toss. And that bigger man being able to put a fair bit of pressure onto the head and the neck of the smaller boy, who tags out. Into the ring now, Patrice Martino, in the green trunks, face up to that very much bigger man, one of the two Golden Falcons. And once again, he's trying to outstrong the Golden Falcon. I don't think that's very clever. I think he should stick to wrestling because he doesn't appear to have either the weight or the size or the strength to do very much with his much bigger and stronger opponent. He's got to stick to being skillful, being clever, being maybe a little bit cunning. Don't try and trade strength with these two much bigger men. And that's the first public warning to the Golden Falcons, delivered by our referee. Patrice Martino looks a little bit sorry for himself. I think his extra strength and power and weight of the two bigger men is maybe telling on him a little. A head mare, followed by a stranglehold there to one of the Golden Falcons. But a good escape there by Patrice. He turned out from underneath that and just for a moment had that Golden Falcon in a wrist lock. But he equally well, a very clever escape there. And they're shaping up, sizing each other up. And again, I think this is not good policy on behalf of the lighter lad. He's trying to outstrength the Golden Falcon. It's not going to work. Now that, I think the referee will not allow. And I believe, yes, he's given a second public warning, another public warning to the Golden Falcons team for what looks suspiciously like a kick that was very definitely and very deliberately low. Another Golden Falcon is in there, dishing out punishment to that lighter, younger, less strong lad who's been severely weakened, I'm sure, by that. A body slam, picking him up, and with a flat arm on the back, and now a stomp on the back, taking him back down again. The Golden Falcons tag. His partner is now in the ring. Another head mare, and he drops an elbow onto the chin of Patrice and moves around the ring to prevent his opponent Yang from tagging with him. Yang would dearly love to get in to give his partner a little bit of breathing space, but the Golden Falcon's not going to let him do that. He's staying right in the way, and Yang can't get there to make the tag. Meanwhile, the Golden Falcon is still giving a lot of punishment to this younger boy. The Golden Falcons have tagged. Into the ring comes the second one of the team, and he continues with this treatment onto the head and the neck and the back of Patrice. Picked him up for a slam, and he landed not too well there. I think he's very much the worse for wear at the moment. Young Patrice from Paris, the boy in the green trunks. His partner's coming in to the ring, but the referee, of course, won't allow the two of them in it together. So the referee is putting Jan Caradik out of the ring, telling him he must get outside. Of course, while the referee's busy doing that, which he must do, the two Golden Falcons take advantage of the fact that the referee's back is turned. But now they have tagged. Jan Caradik is... the referee's not so sure about that. Yes, well, now they certainly have. Jan Caradik is now in, representing the Paris team. Let's see if he's going to be any more lucky than his partner, young Patrice. He went in for a clothesline there. The lad ducked underneath it and followed across for an attempted pinfall, but the other Golden Falcon came in and threw him right off his partner. I think the referee is going to get a little bit cross about this. They already have two public warnings between them as the team. And that was a deliberate foul on the part of one of the Golden Falcons, coming in to throw the man off his partner when there was a possibility of a pinfall there. And the Golden Falcons still taking advantage of their exercise and weight and strength and handing out a lot of treatment to the boys from Paris. Another tag of the Golden Falcons. One out, one in. And the move there, which started off as a suplex, but turned into a body slam. A little bat stamp on the chest there. And the referee's counting the man down. A full Nelson now, taken by one of the Golden Falcons on young Caradik. And his partner comes in with a headbutt to the stomach there. And the referee gave him a very, very severe private warning there. The referee's also now having a word, of course, with Patrice, who wants to come in to give a bit of breathing space to his partner. Of course, you can't do that until they tag across the ropes. And again, Golden Falcon with a full Nelson and young Caradik. His partner again comes in. And another public warning. It's the second one to that individual member of the Golden Falcons team. They're coming in with that headbutt to the stomach when he should have been out on the other side of the ropes. Not allowed to do that, of course. And once again, another time, the Golden Falcon with a hook. And this time, young Caradik managed to get right out of the way. He ran across, tagged in Patrice, his partner. And now Patrice with those running elbows. My goodness, he's doing well here. A terrific drop kick there from the young lad from Paris. Right onto the chin of one of the Golden Falcons. And this is where he's making a really, really good comeback. I think the referee is going to spot that other Golden Falcon behind him fairly soon, because the two of them should not both be in the ring at the same time. And the referee, quite rightly, is sending one of the Golden Falcons out, leaving the other one in with Patrice Martino. And now young Caradik has come in also, and the referee is sending him out. Again, quite rightly, only one man allowed to be in the ring at a time with a tag match. And the Falcon body slam Patrice Martino. His partner tagged in, and it's a fall. The referee counts the 3. It's a win to the Golden Falcons. We can see it on the replay there. A very heavy body slam. The partner comes in, splashes across Patrice Martino there. The referee counts 3. The Golden Falcons win our tag match. We'll be back to see you very soon. Eurosport.
European Championships on Eurosport. The group qualifying matches on the run-up to the finals in Sweden, June 1992. The best of European football and footballers from kickoff to the final whistle. The European Football Championships are brought to you by Minolta, and Nike. The European Football Championships, Thursday 10 p.m., Friday 2 p.m. here on Eurosport.
Welcome back again to your wrestling. Coming into the ring now, we have the Italian lad, Toni LaMotta. Originally from Italy, now in fact resident in France. And now we can see his opponent appearing from the other side of the ring. A very flamboyant gentleman, the Marquis Richard de Fullomo. The Marquis himself, Marquis Richard. And he's accompanied into the ring by his valet, Paul Gutin Luchard. His valet tells me But he's here to attend to his master's every wish, whatever that may be. We shall see whether his master needs very much in the way of assistance of any sort. Perhaps to make himself look a little more beautiful. Let's hope it's not in any way to interfere with the match. So we have on the far side of the ring, there we are, in the red trunks there, from Italy, Toni LaMotta. He comes to us with an excellent amateur record. He came to France, as I mentioned a moment ago, and soon after arriving in France, he turned professional and is building a very big reputation for himself. Toni LaMotta from Italy. And now the flamboyant figure of the Marquis Richard. We shall see whether his valet takes any part in the proceedings. I think he would be very foolish to do that. Let's sincerely hope. The valet's just standing at the... did he trip the man or did he not? I'm not sure. The referee counted 2, so I guess the referee thought that the valet didn't take any part in that. Not too sure myself. Let's keep a close eye on that. 1, 2. Very good head mares from Toni LaMotta. Throwing the Marquis about all over the place. But that time a good escape by the Marquis there, but straight back into an arm roll and another arm roll. And as Toni LaMotta looked as though he was setting himself up for what could well have been an excellent drop kick then, Marquis Richard decided the best place for him to be was out of the ring. Of course, he's perfectly at liberty to do that. The referee will be counting 10 against him. Must be back into the ring by 10, and being ably helped in by his valet. Perhaps that's one of the things he thinks he's supposed to do. His master goes out to take a breather, and the valet helps him back in. Now, full Nelson there to the Marquis Richard, and back into the full Nelson. But Toni LaMotta reverses that. Full Nelson in favor of himself now. Now let's see whether the Marquis Richard has any answers for that. He had the advantage with the full Nelson a moment ago. Now he's on the losing end. Does he know a way out? Let's see. Yes, by plain strength. Trips a leg. With a push up the stern from Toni LaMotta. A body check there from the Marquis. He tried it again. Toni Richard ducked him, and another very, very good arm roll. A count of 2 by the referee, but then a sudden appearance in the ring from the valet. We can see that in our slow motion replay. There's the body check. There's the arm roll. Follow down a count of 1, 2 by the referee, and here into the ring comes the valet. Tips Toni LaMotta off. I'm sure the referee couldn't actually have seen that. His face was well down, looking at the canvas there, counting the man's shoulders. He can't be blamed, I think, for not seeing that. He must have seen the referee, the valet going out. I think he would have made a note of that for future reference. Now we have Toni LaMotta with a wrist lock there of Marquis Richard. Got that on fairly tight. There's not a lot of weight difference between these two men. Not a lot of strength difference either, I would think. And he can be doing damage with that. It's a weakening hold. There's the valet, looking to see what his master is doing, and making an attempt to come into the ring again, then into the action. But the referee spotted him. So did Toni LaMotta. Quite wisely, the valet decided discretion was the better part of valor. Let's stay out for the minute. Let's hope he stays out all the time. Still with that wrist lock on, Toni LaMotta. And an Irish whip from Marquis Richard. And into a head scissors by the Marquis. The valet encouraging his master there. Toni LaMotta doing a good job in attempting to escape from that head scissors. His trunks being pulled there by the Marquis. Again on the wrong side of the referee. But this time he escaped from that head scissors, and rather cockily there. A foot in the stomach of the Marquis. Not a great deal of, oh I say, what's going on here? The valet is wiping down his master, combing his hair. I think he's got a mirror there, has he, for the man to say, oh my goodness, what do you make of that? I must say he could do with it. A good drop kick there from Toni LaMotta. A good drop kick, a good elbow. And now the lad from Italy, tying his opponent in the ropes there. And what's he going to do with it after that? The valet has come in, trying to release his master from being tied in the ropes there. Toni LaMotta tips the valet out over the top rope and then goes out himself. Oh, this is getting very complicated. The Marquis is still tied in between the top and the middle ropes. Toni LaMotta is trying to pull the valet out underneath the bottom rope. Changes his mind. Delivers one elbow onto his chest. Comes back for a flying headbutt into the stomach of the Marquis. Goes back for another one. This time, marvelous. Knocks the valet down. But the valet backdrops him. He's covered now by Marquis Richard. And it's a count of 3. I don't believe that. What an incredibly fast count of 3. And the referee's holding up the hand. Let's see that again in slow motion. The valet backdrops the Italian boy over the top. The Marquis comes in, covers it. The referee turns around, and even in slow motion, look how quick that counted. Well, there's got to be an inquiry about that. I've never seen such a rapid count in all my life. But at the moment, there's no question about it. The referee, as you can see, once again, raising the hand of Marquis Richard. Marquis Richard de Fullomo, the winner of this match. We can see that slow motion again from a different angle. Toni LaMotta knocks the valet down, goes back to body tackle him as the valet gets up. He's there just in time to backdrop Toni LaMotta over the top there. The Marquis takes advantage of it, comes in, covers him. And when the referee turns around, he counts. Well. We come in now, ladies and gentlemen, partway through one of the supporting matches, a match already in progress between Denis Garnier of France and his opponent, who we're looking at the moment, in the red, the masked globetrotter, Mr. Kong. Denis Garnier, the blonde lad there, another Frenchman appearing on our program tonight. And at the moment, having his work cut out a little bit, because this man, Mr. Kong, is proving to be a very, very hard nut to crack. He's already shown us on 2 or 3 occasions that he looks as though he's going to try and win this match by force and power and strength and not skill. He's shown us lots of force, lots of power, lots of strength, but not a lot of skill. But at the moment, Denis Garnier is managing to hold his own. Let's hope he can manage to keep on doing that for a while. A double fist chop there on the back of the neck, not a lot of skill. But at the moment, Denis Garnier is managing to hold his own. Let's hope he can manage to keep on doing that for a while. A double fist chop there on the back of the neck of Denis Garnier. And now a headlock, followed by a hip toss from Mr. Kong. With that extra power, he can go. I wonder who that is. I've not seen him before. That's just a member of the audience. I don't really know. Somebody's getting carried away down there. A large gentleman with a large hat. Denis Garnier linking up there with Mr. Kong. And once again, I think it's not a very good idea for Denis to try and match strength for strength with this masked man. I think if he tries to do that, he's going to lose the encounter each time. He just doesn't seem to me to have the strength and the power of the masked man. He ought to stick to the skillful side of the wrestling. But each time he tries the power moves, he doesn't really get too far with them. And the masked man swapping holds there with an arm lock. It looks as though that man with the hat outside the ring there is being a bit of a nuisance. The referee went over and spoke with him then. Don't know what he said. I'm sure the referee will keep an eye on the man. And once again, standing wrist lock there. And Denis Garnier this time turns under and has a full wrist lock on Mr. Kong. But once again, that extra strength was all he needed. And he threw Denis Garnier off without too much bother at all. Mr. Kong picks up Denis Garnier from the canvas, throws him to the ropes, and meets him as he comes back with that clothesline. And here's the big man with the big hat and the big cigar again, wishing to sit down. And Mr. Kong dishing out the treatment there to young Denis. And the referee giving a private warning, telling him, I'm sure, to make sure that he lets his man get up off the canvas before he attacks again. Again, he throws him to the ropes. This time, he ducks under the clothesline. Flies across as Denis Garnier for an attempted pinfall, but gets only a count of 2 before the superior strength of Mr. Kong manages to throw him off. And here we have Mr. Kong, who's decided that the corner pad should be removed. He's done just that. Let's hope he doesn't take any of that. What's he doing now? From a full Nelson, he spins Denis Garnier around and then throws his head very forcibly into the top of those hooks which hold the ropes against the post there. It doesn't look as though it's done any damage to Garnier, but I'm sure it won't have done him too much good either. A full Nelson now from Mr. Kong on Denis Garnier. And he's reversed it, and he's put Mr. Kong's head into the same corner hook. How about that then? And a good drop kick from the young man from France. A good drop kick right on the point of the jaw of Mr. Kong there. And can he follow that up? Remember, he's dealing with a much bigger and stronger man. He goes for a posting. It's switched. And I think Mr. Kong will certainly have hurt his wrist there when he missed that blow he was trying to deliver to the head of Denis Garnier. The Irish whip leaves Mr. Kong down on the canvas, and Denis Garnier enjoying quite a good comeback. Let's hope he can continue with that. An elbow, another elbow. They look as though they're rocking the bigger man as well. Another elbow, another drop kick. And certainly, Denis Garnier is having the best of this match at this particular moment. Another elbow, a head mare. And what's he setting him up for this? Mr. Kong brings him to a standstill with a blow to the stomach there. And a fist chop on the back of the neck. And again, the referee's having what looks like a very serious and severe private warning against Mr. Kong. And Mr. Kong following his opponent down onto the canvas. And the referee, I'm sure, telling Mr. Kong to break, to let the man up. He mustn't attack his opponent until he's on his feet. And he's given a public warning to the masked, globe-trotting star, Mr. Kong. Public warning to Mr. Kong. And that big man with the big hat is still alongside the ring there. Denis Garnier, I'm sure by now knows that he's in the wars a little bit. Has he got the skill to come back from this? Because he's looking rather the worse for wear. Mighty Kong setting him up for a suplex. He throws him over the top. The lad lands very heavily. Mr. Kong covers him, but only gets a count of 1. Denis Garnier appears to have his right shoulder off the canvas. 1, 2, and now Mr. Kong pulls him up by the hair. I seriously think Mr. Kong is really just trying to win this match by brute force. It seemed to me that he might have had a chance of holding the guy down there for a count of 3, but no, he decided to lift him up, as indeed he's doing again. I think perhaps he just wants to do him a bit more damage, a bit more injury. A very heavy backbreaker drop there, and again he gets a count of only 2, but jerks the neck of Denis Garnier as he gets off him in order to pick him up. Once again, lifting him by the hair, The referee, as you saw, as he went out of picture then, giving him a very severe warning. And a pile driver. And this is going to be bad news, I think, for Denis Garnier. 1, 2, 3. And it is a win for Mr. Kong. The winner of the match, Mr. Kong. I think that will not be a very popular win for the members of our audience here. Let's see it again in our slow motion replay. Picks the man up for a pile driver. And as he drops onto his knees, the head of Denis Garnier right onto the mat there. It turns across, covers him. A count of 3 from the referee. And Mr. Kong is the winner of that match.
Eurosport. 3 Winter Olympic events. A special transmission of snowbound sport as we look forward to the Olympics from Albertville. The best in the world are skiing and skating competitively for the event medals. The Winter Olympics from Albertville are brought to you by Ricoh. Star Printer. The Winter Olympics, Tuesday, 7 p.m. here on Eurosport.
Here we are again, ladies and gentlemen, coming into the ring, a wrestler known very well indeed to British fans, the Yorkshireman Dave Taylor. Dave Taylor at the moment is campaigning in one of the big European tournaments, but it's nice to see him on our Eurosport program. Wrestling fans all over Britain will certainly know Dave Taylor, the Yorkshireman, sometimes billed as Mr. Big when he wrestles in Britain. He's now weighing in at around 112 kilos, which is pretty big. And I think you'll see during the course of the match that despite his weight and his size, he's still able to move around very, very rapidly in the ring. Coming into the ring now, with his back to us at the moment, just taking his ring jacket off there, Dave Morgan. Dave Morgan, originally from Wales, but for several years now has been living in Germany and campaigning with the wrestling out of Germany. 2 very formidable heavyweight wrestlers. Both of them indeed are capable of excellent scientific wrestling, and let's hope that in this heavyweight match that's what we shall see. 2 good, strong, fit men, a great knowledge of wrestling each. Dave Morgan offering to show... Oh, I would have thought that's a little out of character with Dave Taylor, but there we go. A little bit difficult maybe to identify the men, very slightly. Both wearing red trunks, both with black knee bands. Dave Taylor, the taller of the 2, though. We see him in the front of our picture now with the dark hair and the red boots. Dave Morgan slightly the shorter with the fair hair and the white boots. And right at the beginning of the match, Dave Taylor runs in for an elbow. Dave Morgan ducks it, tips Taylor out into the crowd. I'm sure he won't have done any damage. And by the way he vaulted back into the ring there, he certainly hasn't. A good arm roll there by Dave Morgan. Both the men sparring up against each other. Remembering we're watching 2 large, fit fellas here, particularly with Dave Taylor. I think probably we're going to be surprised that a man of his build is actually able to move so fast in the ring as he does. A good head scissors now from Dave Morgan. Dave Taylor will need to bring some of his basic wrestling skills into action now to escape from that, which he does with a very good head spin, straight up onto his feet. Out of the head scissors, straight onto his feet, and getting, as you can see, well-deserved applause from the customers there in the audience. And from the toe and ankle hold of Dave Taylor's, Dave Morgan crosses his feet, spins him out. Here we go with the replay. And you can see why Dave Taylor had to go with that. He tried to resist. He could have done a lot of damage to that left arm of his. Well, Dave Taylor in with an arm lever. Holding it tight. Just a strength-sapping hold, but a very good hip toss of Dave Taylor's. Dave Morgan crosses his feet, spins him out. Here we go with the replay. And you can see why Dave Taylor had to go with that. He tried to resist. He could have done a lot of damage to that left arm of his. Well, Dave Taylor in with an arm lever. Holding it tight. Just a strength-sapping hold, but a very good hip toss there from Dave Morgan, having switched out of that arm lever. It looks as though it's got Dave Taylor a little bit cross. I don't think Dave Taylor liked that at all. Dave Morgan steaming straight in at Taylor, both together on the ropes, and being told by the referee to break. Eventually Dave Taylor stands back. And the referee waiting for Dave Morgan to get up on his feet. As the two men circle, weighing up each other. And a good, strong elbow there for Dave Taylor. Morgan will certainly know that that one hit him. And another elbow. Dave Morgan almost out of the ring, but comes back with a good headbutt to the stomach. Now that caught Taylor by surprise, I'm quite sure. Both of them a little bit wary of each other now, I think. A foot in the stomach from Dave Taylor, followed by a good elbow. And another which he went for, but Dave Morgan ducked it and came back with an elbow of his own. Now this really is very good heavyweight action. The referee telling Dave Morgan not to hold the hair, and Dave Morgan immediately lets go. Half of the stranglehold from Dave Taylor there. Two close fist rabbit punches on the back of the neck there, and another, while Dave Morgan is down on the canvas. And the referee again telling Dave Taylor, make sure you let your man up before you attack him again. Throw against the ropes from Dave Taylor. Dave Morgan holds the top rope so that he doesn't come back into that clothesline that Dave Taylor was waiting with. And once again, a bit of hair pulling, a little bit of fisting to the stomach, a little bit of tit for tat, and the referee, quite wisely, not stepping in to stop the action, letting it go on while it's not doing a great deal of damage, and both men are equally guilty or equally innocent. Now Dave Taylor with the advantage at the moment, but holding Dave Morgan's ankle against that middle white rope there. He was leaning on the toe, which it looked as though he was. That would have been putting pressure on Dave Morgan's ankle. Let's hope it's not done any real damage. We don't want to see this match spoiled by something like that. Dave Taylor coming for a body tackle, and another one. With Morgan ducking him. And with a hip toss over the top, a count of two. Two only for Dave Morgan. Pushed off by the bigger man, Dave Taylor, before he can hold him down for the three. Dave Taylor ahead there. Two double fist chops to the throat of Dave Morgan. And Dave Taylor looking as though he thinks it's easy. I wonder whether it really is. Dave Morgan taking his time getting off the canvas. Referee counting. Forearms to the side of the chin there. And Dave Taylor. Those twist rabbit punches on the back of the neck. Another elbow. Dave Morgan fooled him then. He looked as though he was hurt. And as Dave Taylor came in, ducked, dived for the leg, took Taylor down and covered him, but only for two. Morgan comes in for an elbow. Dave Taylor backs off. An arm lever by Dave Morgan. With that wrist press there. And a good back kick. Right into the stomach of Dave Taylor there. With the back of his leg. Perfectly legal from Dave Morgan. And again, attacking that stomach of Dave Taylor. Here we go again by the look of it. He's asking the audience, should he do it again? And they say yes. So he does. Dave Taylor down with Dave Morgan covering him. The referee with a 1-2 count. But again, pushed off by the bigger man, Dave Taylor, who goes straight in for the attack. And is told to break by the rope by the referee. Number one, he's on the ropes, and number two, he shouldn't have attacked until Morgan got off the canvas anyway. Dave Taylor doesn't seem to be taking a lot of notice of the referee at the moment. It's not really in character for Dave Taylor. He's usually a very clean sporting wrestler. And now he's got a public warning indeed from our referee. First public warning against Dave Taylor. And Dave Taylor with a corner posting on Dave Morgan. Comes in to follow it up. Flat arm rabbit punch on the back of the neck again. A head mare by Taylor. Goes back to the ropes for a tackle. Hits him with a tackle. Back to the ropes another. Once again. Dave Morgan down underneath it. And a 2-foot stomach throw right over the top. A good double-footed drop kick right into Dave Taylor's chest from Dave Morgan. Tips him out backwards over the top rope. He's landed on the floor outside the ring there. Doesn't look as though he's done too much damage to himself. Climbing up onto the side of the ring. And my goodness, if you can come into the ring like that, you haven't done too much damage to yourself. And he went for a rolling crutch pinfall there. Only got a count of one on it though. A posting by Dave Morgan, switched by Dave Taylor into a suplex. Over the top, a good high, sturdy suplex. That 1, 2, and it's a referee's count of 3, which gives a win for Yorkshire's Dave Taylor. Mr. Big, as many of our English wrestling fans will know him. Dave Taylor, the Yorkshireman. A suplex, follow through, and cover up. And here we go with an action replay. There's the suplex. Rolled back across him, covers him. A count of 3 from the referee. And a very pleased Dave Taylor up on his feet. Glad, I'm sure, that it's over, but looking, I must say, a bit cocky about it. We should be back with you in a moment or two with the next part of our program. Dave Morgan shaking hands very sportingly with the referee. Dave Taylor looks as though he's wanting to hear some applause from the audience. Perhaps they don't want to. They maybe rather see him in his scientific role. Dave Taylor, our winner, just getting out of the ring. Back in a minute or two.
Eurosport. Athletics. The best of the Tokyo World Championships. The major stars of track and field are out, performing a fantastic show. In this, the main event before the 1992 Olympics from Barcelona. The best of the athletics, the Tokyo World Championships, are brought to you by TDK, official supplier of audio-video cassettes and floppy disks. And Reebok. And Seiko. Athletics, Tuesday, 4 p.m. here on Eurosport.
And here we are again, ladies and gentlemen, with the final section of our 1 hour of European-style wrestling tonight on Eurosport. And coming into the ring, 2 wrestlers certainly both very well known to British wrestling fans. In the ring, a man on the screen you will have seen his name as Jimy Kung Fu, but I think that in Britain everybody knows him as the Amazing Kung Fu. He comes from North Wales and is a real expert and exponent in the Kung Fu arts, which he employs during his wrestling matches. And getting into the ring now, well, if you don't recognize him, you're not a true British wrestling fan, because of course it's the current British title holder from Belfast, Dave Fit Finlay. We very often expect to see Fit Finlay, of course, with his wife, the Princess Paula. But shall I say that I'm glad to say she's not here this evening. Finlay's got to manage this on his own. Dave Finlay there in the green and white gear with the Irish shamrocks, the Belfast lad, and the amazing Kung Fu. Wearing the Kung Fu gear with the black belt. And we're off for the beginning of their match. As usual, Finlay complaining not about his opponent, not about the referee, but about the audience. Never known anybody complain as much about so many things as Finlay manages to seem to do. Finlay with a side headlock on the amazing Kung Fu. Still with that headlock on. Strong man like Finlay with a lot of pressure onto the head and the neck. And a smaller man, as Kung Fu is. Kung Fu looking for ways of escaping there. Turns the headlock into a chancery. And switches that again for a wrist lever. Kung Fu making as though he's going to put two fingers in the eyes of Finlay. I don't think he's that sort of a wrestler. In fact, I know he's not. I don't think it's the sort of thing he'd do. But Finlay was a bit worried about. How about that? Drops down, splits Finlay's legs, one foot in the chest, sits him down on his backside. Very, very smart move. Very fast indeed. Typical of the amazing Kung Fu. And again, Finlay's complaining to everybody and anybody who'll listen. Up on the ropes, he's probably saying something like, "I'm the champion." I'm sure he is. But I don't think Kung Fu cares who's the champion. Kung Fu's in there to win a match.
1, 2, 3.
Champion or no champion, that's what he's going to be trying to do. Full Nelson now to Dave Finlay. Fingers clasped there behind the neck. Now, a much stronger man than Kung Fu. But instead of holding on to that full Nelson, he spins him round. Delivers a very heavy elbow. Kung Fu up into a nerve hold from Dave Finlay, the British title holder. A chop, another chop to the stomach, and a back kick, Kung Fu style. This is what he's famous for. This is why he's got the name. 1, 2 count from the referee, only 2. Once again, that stronger man, Finlay, pushes off the lighter Kung Fu, and only got a count of 2. Holding one foot, spins him round. Straight fingers chopped to the throat from Kung Fu. And as Finlay comes in, a chop on the back of the neck, puts Finlay out over the ropes, onto the floor outside the ring. How has he landed? The cameras will show us in a minute. The referee's counting him meanwhile. So I suppose Finlay must be all right because he's going for a walkabout. Why doesn't he get back in the ring and carry on with the match? Sure, that's what Kung Fu is thinking. Come back in, you. Finlay making his way back and threatening to do all sorts of things to Kung Fu. The referee will have to keep a very strict eye on that. Kung Fu now threatening Finlay. Not with a fist, but with a foot. That's different. Back hammerlock there by Dave Finlay on Kung Fu. Again, a very damaging hold. Kung Fu will need to release himself from that as soon as he can. And on the blind side of the referee, definitely a punch into the stomach of Kung Fu. You saw that, I saw that, but the referee was around the other side. Couldn't possibly have seen it, and Finley's claiming it was straight fingers. Forearm there, onto the side of the chin of Kung Fu from Finlay. A nerve hold from Finlay. Now Kung Fu, is he going to use some of his martial arts to escape from that? A double fingers chop straight to the stomach. A back kick to the chin. A posting from Kung Fu. A flying head scissors from Kung Fu. Finlay knows he's in the wars at the moment. Another straight fingers chop in the throat from Kung Fu as Finlay came off the ropes. Double-handed chop on the back of the neck. And then this is going to be an attempted pinfall by Kung Fu. Can he hold him there? The referee counts 1, 2, but no. Finlay's extra weight and strength gets him out of that. And he comes back into the attack. Again with a headlock on Kung Fu. And again, as he turns away from the referee, a punch first to the throat and then to the face. The referee can't possibly get round quickly enough to see that. And Finlay's claiming it was a flat hand. And as Kung Fu gets off the canvas, Finlay headmares him. and goes for a knee drop with Kung Fu getting out of the way. That will have done Finlay's knee no good at all. Kung Fu now playing a little bit of football on that left knee of Dave Finlay. Goes to post him, switches it in, and Dave Finlay comes off that posting with a really strong... Oh, well, Finlay climbing up the post there. Kung Fu sees him go, wriggles the ropes. Finlay manages to drop very uncomfortably across the top of that rope, and looks as though he's half destroyed the ring. Never mind, I'm sure the match will continue. The referee certainly is counting Finlay. Kung Fu goes in, and again on the wrong side of the referee, a fist from Finlay, and then turfing Kung Fu out of the ring unceremoniously. He's gone. And the referee counting. Yes, the referee counting Kung Fu to come back in, and Finlay decides to help him. But Kung Fu checks it, and Kung Fu's going up on that rather slack. Yes, that top rope is still slack. I think the fact of the rope not being tight caused Kung Fu to misjudge that dive off the rope he was making, and Finlay's going to take advantage of that. And with a particular style of body slam, a count of 1, 2, 3, and it indeed is a win for Finlay, Dave Finlay, the current British champion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight, good night.